and welcome back to another FM Draft Chats. My guest today popped onto the scene in late 2021 with her FM comic series and has since been streaming over on Twitch with her Rex and Save, and has now been dabbling her hand within the FM draft scene. My guest today is FM Girl, aka Alice. Today, we are drafting from Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, Scotland and Wales, from their league systems, something I am not very familiar with. This is going to make for an interesting one. Let's go. So guys, here we go then. FM Girl, aka Alice, welcome to the channel. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
That's good to have you on. So first things first, I'm going to press play now on the draft. We get started here. I mentioned in the intro there, we're picking from the Scottish League, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland and Welsh League systems. I have literally no idea. My shortlist is based on Rangers players. That's about as much as I know. So it's going to be interesting.
We're just winging it, it's fine, we're just winging it.
That is the way to do it. So first things first, the one thing I ask everyone straight away when they come onto the channel, who do you support and what is the origin story behind that team? Why them? Why do you support that team?
Okay, ignore the Arsenal kit. I don't support Arsenal. I'm a Cardiff fan, and honestly, the simple reason is that I'm from Cardiff. I live in Cardiff, from Cardiff. When I was younger, though, I'm afraid to say I used to be a Manchester United supporter when I was a kid, but then I think everyone did at that point.
Yeah. No, everyone did at a young age. Many people have been on the channel so far and always said like they either supported Man U or Man U was the team they first got into, then they started supporting like someone else eventually. Man U's everyone's go-to though at younger age, isn't it?
Yeah, like when I was a youngster, I was at like because I'm from Wales, and when I was a youngster, um, I actually followed the English national team,
Okay.
just because it's what everyone was talking about, especially around that what was it, the Euro '96 is a competition I
Yeah.
remember very vividly, and I remember at the time because I didn't quite have that Welsh when I was that young. I didn't quite have have that Welsh sense of nationality. And so I
Okay.
remember just crying at the end when England got knocked out, and I looked back at that. I'm just like 100% Welsh, and I don't know why I supported England.
It's a weird one, man. Like I always grew up like kind of following Republic of Ireland because all my dad's still the family from there. But then my mum's side
Yeah,
were England. But I think I went more toward gravitated more towards England in the end, just because well, everyone else I supported that knew like being in England and growing up in England, being technically English as well. I think I gravitated more to England in the end. But I've always kept a slight on Republic of Ireland and been like, oh, I do like Ireland as well. But very much a case of England first for me.
I'm splashing the cash on a 8 million on a striker.
Morelos as well. I don't know if I trust Morelos enough to be. I don't know. I've never seen him do that great in FM. To be honest with you, before. Anyone that's watching and like put in the comments, like if they've seen him do really good within FM, but I've never seen him being like that clinical in the game. I don't know. So interesting to see if you can do it in your formation today.
Yeah, and I'm doing it again. This is what I usually do. I splash the cash on the first couple of players, and I'm doing it again here.
Yeah.
And then I kind of start going down to the more budget players.
It's a good way to draft, to be fair. It's a good way to draft. Get the big ones in early because I can just pop up and just grab them all later on. Like I've got 36 actually. I think I've got that much more in it, but it won't last. It never does. The money soon flies in these drafts. The problem. So I want to get into the first question away from asking who you support and stuff.
Yep.
I first laid on I was in your product. Well, I say product, the comic. Let's get into that basically first. I first laid I was in the comic back at the like end of last year now, probably October, November time. I think I first laid on, isn't it? I
Yeah,
just
it's
want to
about
get
when I
into
started it.
yeah. I want to get into like the inception of the idea, where it all came from, and what made you want to do it around FM base.
I actually wanted to start drawing. It didn't really actually have anything to do with Football Manager. That kind of the desire to start drawing. I wanted to learn something, and drawing was what I decided on.
Yeah,
And I didn't know much about kind of a lot of subjects, but I play a lot of Football Manager, so it's like, you know what? If I'm gonna draw, if I'm gonna learn to draw, then maybe making a comic around Football Manager would be kind of the way to go. And so
yeah.
it's literally is that. It's just that desire to start drawing.
So this is a way like it's such a unique like way to get into like the scene, those sort of things as well. I guess sort of thing like yeah, no one else has ever done it before, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, I don't know if I've missed other stuff on like Reddit or in blogs, and stuff, but it's something that
No,
was like the first thing I'd seen anyone do that, and I was like, this is incredible. It's like a different idea to bring into like this scene sort of thing.
yeah, I did actually have a look before I started it if anybody else had done a Football Manager webcomic or even something to that effect, and I
Yeah,
could not find a single thing. There's loads of other um, niche games and all that kind of jazz, which do have comics, and they're usually quite simple as well. Kind of similar to how mine is very simple, the drawing at least, but it's more about the story, it's more about the humor, and there's just like so many web comics out there for other games, for other themes. But there was just nothing for Football Manager
no.
other than memes. I think that's probably the closest thing you're gonna find, really, just memes after memes.
There's tons of memes over FF Manager stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago now, you began streaming. What made you want to take that jump from not having like streamed at all prior to firstly streaming, making the comic and the design the comic, and into Football Manager?
Well, for to get into streaming, I'd already been doing the comic for I think like 3 months by that point, and I was starting to become somewhat known in the community, and I was
Yeah,
invited on to a draft. I was one of like the streamer draft tournaments. I think it was down the local. I think it was my first streamer draft tournament, and at that point I hadn't actually started any streaming, but they invited me there anyway,
yeah.
and I wanted to practice before I actually did the stream on the night. I wanted to practice, being in front of camera, essentially just talking to myself in a room. So I signed up to loaded up to Twitch, and then started my stream, and it went so well. My first time streaming, I didn't intend for it to be for me to continue, but
No.
I had so much fun doing it, and it was just an absolute blast. And there was people that actually came. Like I was shocked at how many people decided that they wanted to come and watch my content, and I couldn't help myself after that. It was like, yeah, this is for me. This is what I want to be doing.
Yeah, you get hooked, don't you, sort of thing. Like the
Oh
first one or two,
yes,
you get hooked straight away. Like the interactions with different people. I suppose, obviously, having the comic online for so many months prior, sort of thing, people knew who you were from Twitter, sort of thing. See it in
yeah,
their Twitch feed, and like, oh, you're streaming now, amazing. Let's go check that out, sort of thing. It blows your mind, doesn't it, sort of thing? Like the amount of people that come in,
yeah,
sort of thing. You don't really expect to see these people in here. Out of
yeah.
nowhere, like you blow up, sort of thing, on Twitch straight away.
I think that's kind of what helped with my stream as well. Like where you mentioned there, like I've already done the comic for a good few months by that point, and so people would enjoy my content already, and then to see me streaming, it was just like, yeah, we'll go straight there. I think had I not started the web comic first and just gone straight into streaming, I don't think it would. Whether I got to whether I ever would be ever to get to the point I'm at now, and if I would have either taken a long while or just never at all. And without that, one of my favorite things about streaming is the interaction with the chat.
Oh, definitely. That's
Um,
part of it.
oh yeah, like without them, it's a bit boring, honestly. And so if I had started streaming in front of nobody, I don't think it would have been as fun because I wouldn't have had that interaction with the individuals that are there to watch my content.
That's what I mean. The individuals now are like they've been there the whole time. They're there for most of the streams, sort of thing. You make those like it goes from being interactions with people you've not met to being like friends as well with some of these people. Like you talk to them people more than some people in your real life, sort of things. At the time. Never even met these
Oh,
people, but the interactions are that like key to your day to day life now. So know them people.
yeah, 100%. Like, the amount of people I'm talking to on what is an almost daily basis, and there's just so many amazing people out there, and having all these fantastic individuals in the chat is so much fun.
Oh, definitely. It's unmatched, honestly. Like I've worked in different platforms and like I've worked in like different backgrounds and like I worked in music for a couple of years, done all sorts sort of thing. But the interaction you get from like Twitch and streaming is unmatched. So I want to discuss the Wrexham save briefly. You came into Twitch having the save already been happening for quite a while, a couple of seasons in by the point you actually got to do the save, wasn't you? I just want to get a bit of context for anyone that's new to your product or anyone that's caught you in this video and thought, "Well, go check the streams out." Just a bit of a background story to the save and how it's been going so far and where you're at now, basically.
Yeah, so I started the Wrexham save, and to be fair, I actually started the Wrexham save when Football Manager came out, and it was like long before I started streaming. And I started the Wrexham save because it was the hype around the sale to Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of why I started that save. And I'd been doing it for the entire time off stream, and by the time I started streaming, we were already in the Premiership.
Okay.
But by that point, again, like I said earlier on, I didn't actually know if I was going to carry on streaming. It was kind of like a one-off moment, and my first stream, because it was a one-off moment, I just used that Wrexham save
Yeah.
when
That
we were
makes
already in
sense.
the Premiership. But the individuals watching the stream enjoyed the Wrexham save, already at the Premiership. They were just carried on. We carried on from there, and so there's this like kind of almost like 7 or 8 year period in the save where for how long it took us to get to the Premiership, which those that are watching the stream actually never got a chance to see.
No, no, I never saw
It's
these
just
players. I don't know, like the original players, like where they went to, sort of thing. It was all before everyone joined the stream, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Before the streaming
exactly. So
started.
there's a couple of players. There's this one player where he was a youth prospect that came through my ranks. Sam Greasley, I think his name was, and we
Yeah.
lost him. Basically, he got stolen from me from another club,
Oh,
and I was so mad. And it was before I started streaming the save. So every now and again, I'll bring him up, and my chat will be, "Oh, not Sam,
not Sam again.
not him again," and they just get fed up with me mentioning this player that only I remember.
This player they'd never met before, had nothing to do, no, they have
Exactly.
no history with this player at all, and it's like, oh shit about him again. That's great though, like that sort of context sort of thing. Like I have people come into like our streams now, sort of thing, and the older ones will mention like players I have a relationship with from like last FM sort of thing, and them saves on that one. People are
Yeah.
like, "What on earth are you on about?" Sometimes, like you wasn't here, you missed out on a great period. People can't relate to it, but again, like, you're building like a new history with these new people that are getting involved in the stream, and they're getting to know who these new people are. Sort of, which is great.
Yeah. And it's been a blast, and the save is so much fun. It started to get a bit too easy. We were noticed that we were slowly kind of creeping up the Premiership, the league year on year, and
Yeah.
so I decided to give myself a bit of a handicap for it, and that we were only allowed to sign one non-Welsh player per season. So we have to bring players through our youth setup. We have to sign Welsh players from other teams to kind of fill out the squad, and then once per year, once per season, we're allowed to sign a non-Welsh player as well.
It was about an interesting premise. I mean, one last question based on the Wrexham save. Then, is there like an end goal in place for it? Like, at what point would the save end? Like, do you need to have won something so many times, or something happen, or just gonna be one of those and you keep going until I'm bored of it now, sort of thing. Maybe one day.
I think kind of the end goal is to win the Premier League and the Champions League, as usually is with these saves.
Yeah,
That's kind of the goal for it. But I think another goal is to see the Welsh squad, to see the Welsh national squad filled with Wrexham players. That's kind of my
yeah.
job right now, and that's kind of how it's looking. When the starting of the Welsh first team has like 5 of our players at the moment, but
Okay.
when you look through the youth teams for Wales, it's just full of Wrexham players in my save. And so what I want is for all those youth players to then be all the national teams, and just to have the Welsh national team as a mostly Wrexham team. That's my goal. That's the dream.
That would be amazing to be fair. For anyone who hasn't seen Alice's streams before, the link is down below. Go check the streams out. As for now, we've finished drafting. We're back in a short moment when we have FM Girl versus Murph. We'll see you there. Right, guys, so here we go then. The match is underway. I'm interested to see how these players get on. Like, apart from the ones that play for Rangers, which is the majority of my team, I think. I don't know who any of the players are, honestly. So it's actually some interesting content and an interesting match to see just who some of these players even are.
Yeah, I don't know half of these players. Like I say, I don't know half of the players. I think I know a couple. You
Yeah.
know, I think Joe Hart, my goalkeeper, is kind of like the biggest name on the list.
Yeah. I wanted to mention about having your cats on stream and just general having pets when you're streaming as well. Like, I find it very interesting. Like, I think Rome gets more attention in my streams than I do these days. He goes on camera, the chat goes wild, sort of thing. Oh, God,
That
breaks through. Oh,
was a really good save.
I was going to
Um,
mention that really. Like, how do you feel about like obviously when you have your cats on stream? Do you have any times where they're like you can hear them in the background? You're like, please be quiet or stuff like that, or just like, do you love having them involved?
I like having him involved, and my chat does as well. Like Uma is usually one that comes on screen, and but when sometimes I have to close the door to my room, because there's other people in the house, and I don't want to bother them while I'm streaming.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I have to leave the cats out, and they literally fling themselves at my door trying to get in. They want to be involved in the stream. They're just like, "Why are you streaming without me?"
We're part of this as well. They come to watch us,
Exactly.
not you. I feel like with Rome sometimes, like like it'll be like crawling at my lap sort of thing. It'll be like they're clawing at my lap sort of thing whilst I'm sat here. I'm just like kind of push away the first few times. After a while, I'm like, come on, up you come. Everyone in the chat saying getting like the emotes out for him. I'm like, yeah, who's here? All you can
Yeah,
hear then is
Uma.
him like snoring him like next to the microphone. I'm like, oh yeah, if people don't want to hear you snoring, yeah, they do really. They don't want to hear him snoring than me. It's all
Yeah,
really,
my,
isn't
yeah, my chat love Uma far more than they like me. Do you know what I mean?
it?
Like, she like Uma is the star of my streams.
I feel like Rome's the same sometimes, but exactly the
Is
same. I think
is a bit
majority of the
difficult.
gone.
It's a bit difficult though when we're drawing 4-3-3,
Yeah.
and Uma just wants love and attention, and she's just all over my pen tablet, and I can't actually draw.
I bet it'd be an absolute nightmare trying to get the drawings done sort of thing, and then so I want to mention as well. Oh god, I've had a decent chance. Yeah, I mean that's probably the first shot on target. I think. But, you've had more chances so far, actually.
Yeah, I think we've been the better of the two teams.
Yeah, I'd say that.
57% possession to your 43. I'm happy with this so far.
I mean, absolutely dominant display in the first half there. So I want to mention the play-by-play stuff you've been doing. You've done some stuff at FM playoffs as well, and you've mentioned about some other stuff doing in the future. How that will come about, and like, I'm guessing you've been enjoying it so far. Like, is that sort of thing you want to carry on doing? You're going to focus more on doing drafts in the future yourself.
I want to do both actually. I really enjoy being on the comms panel of the FM playoffs and wasted possession. And how it originally came about, it was before, again, it was before I started streaming, before it was even on the down the local as a drafter.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I was in the chat of the FM playoffs at one point, and they were down a commentator. They didn't actually have a full roster of commentators
Okay.
for that particular moment. And I think it was Tony was just like, "We'll get FM girl in," and I was just like, "Oh, hey, I'll do it." And then literally 5 minutes later, I'm on with no prep or anything like that, with no expectation of doing it on the night. I was on the FM playoffs panel, and
Out of nowhere.
it was difficult. It was difficult. It was nerve-wracking because it was like the first time I'd actually even been on camera. Because again, I hadn't even started streaming at
No,
that
no, of
point.
course.
But it was an absolute blast, and I think from what they said, they enjoyed having me on that particular time, and so
Yeah.
they were just like, "Yeah, come back again." And that's what I've been doing ever since, and
Oh, amazing.
it's just so much fun. Again, it's like streaming is an absolute blast.
Sorry, I got to gas then. I thought we scored then. Emo Roof, how are you missing that, mate? How are you missing? Let's talk about your drafting experience so far. Obviously, you've done a few so far. Like we met in the Down the Local on the Road to Legends. How you been finding
Yeah,
drafting so far? Obviously, we're drafting right now. How you been finding it? You enjoying doing the draft stuff?
I love drafting.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna pause it a second. Oh, watch out this highlight before I make my substitutions. I think I do prefer commentating more than drafting, but even drafting, is a fantastic experience, and it's one where you can also get the chat involved
Yeah.
as well.
Oh,
The chat
definitely.
always love to get involved in drafting, and I usually have my plan going into it, but they make some good suggestions, and which I'm like more than happy to kind of take that input.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not been doing that great at drafts. I think my first draft was the down the local. I won the group stages, but then went on to the next round of that and uh the Road to Legends and just did nothing. I think I managed to pick up a couple of wins on both of them, but other than that, it was dreadful. I did dreadful.
I mean, I'm not to boost myself much, but I played you at both, and I won. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not
yeah,
doing well
that
today so far. So I can't really say much, to be honest. Hasn't really worked so far today.
Yeah, and I think both of those times I used this tactic, so you're probably used to playing against it now.
I say that this is, but I've not scored yet, so I can't really big myself up too much for it. So I want to get to the final questions. We're coming towards the end of the match now. I've got 20 minutes to go left of the match now. So I need to know, obviously, the celebrations against Bragster went around everywhere, sort of thing, at the time when in the Road to Legends, when you absolutely thumped him in that last match. I need to ask, eventually, when you're on the Streamer Showdown, will the celebrations be much more mental than that when you beat Leduja in the final?
That's the goal, isn't it? That's the end goal, is to get onto the Streamer Showdown maybe one day, I hope,
Yeah.
and to beat Lelujo in the final. Yeah, that's the dream. But yes, if that does happen in the unlikely event that that actually does happen, this is exactly what you'll see. Literally at the start of every stream that we do.
Yeah.
Every stream I do, I start with a rave. You know, I pick a song and I'm just like raving to this song for like 4 or 5 minutes in front of everyone. Everyone's just kind of having a laugh and all that kind of jazz.
I suppose it amps
And
everyone up yourself on yourself, doesn't it? Really gets everyone in the mood for like have a bit of fun on
exactly,
stream, sort of thing. Gets the energy flowing, ready to go, then sort of thing for the stream.
exactly. Oh, I'm in you. I'm
What's gonna
in
be the
you.
winner? Oh my god!
Oh, 83 minutes in. It's Furuhashi with a beautiful solo goal. I love it. Love it.
Where's the defense? Where is my defense? I mean, there they are, watching him.
That's the power of the Chakratista, yeah?
Out of the track. Did the win?
Yeah,
It's going to be the winner surely at this point, I imagine as well. I mean,
but yeah.
I've been in the game all, to be fair. My own thoughts. As soon as I mentioned that I beat you in other drafts, this happened straight away. Put
I'm
myself
afraid
right in the
it's
mud.
I'm afraid it has nothing to do with superstition. It's pure skill, yo.
I mean, oh, you've won that. What is that pass there? It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. I mean, on the plus side, Morelos sent score, and I did say Morelos would be. Oh,
And now the floodgates just open.
oh,
Fuhashi with a second. Love it.
absolutely muddied myself. I should know by now. Don't boast because one, it's ill mannered, and two, this happened. You end up losing. Two late goals as well, man. I mean, they've been good goals. Credit where it's due. They've been very good goals.
They were. He's a fantastic player. That's how he's in this database. I think he must be playing for one of the Scottish teams.
He must be, man. He must be. So we're coming to the end now. Going to stoppage time. Where can everyone find you on all the socials, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere else? Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm sure you'll post the link somewhere.
Yeah, they'll all be
That's
down
kind of
below.
that's my main outlet for content. Especially that's why I post the Comic Con. I'll post any like updates about the stream or myself in general. And then you can also find me on Twitch. I don't quite have a schedule yet. It's kind of when I do stream quite a bit, but it's kind of when I want to stream
Yeah,
and when I kind of feel like I'm in a good mood to do so. But yeah, it's like you'll find me on Twitch and with Raxam in the Prem, and it's beautiful. It's streaming is the most fun, and so yeah, you'll find me there.
amazing. Well, congratulations. You have won. Everyone,
I
make sure
have.
the links are down below for Alice. Go check her out. Twitter, Twitch. Go find the stuff. Go check the comic out. If you haven't already, retweet it, like them posts. Make sure you're watching the comic, reading the comic, and stick around for more draft chats in the future. And as always, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.